Let's do this. Hello everyone. Today we're going to make a reaction to Geography Now France. Originally the description how to start the video. No, I'm not crying. I just had the worst day, and I have the longest day in the city. I saw the Backrooms movie, and
Comme certains d'entre vous le savent,
okay,
on
and
dit bien
I'm
des mots
also
en
have
français.
French.
J'ai donc en quelque sorte
Well,
une
or maybe
obligation
not.
d'honorer mon
Or I would just say, let's just say I do have a little bit of French. Let's learn about geography for France, about France, and I do have a little bit of. I mean, not a little bit. I do have French heritage.
Immediately images of wine, cafes, embellished 18th century Baroque architecture, and people who really hate globalization of the English language. But take a step back even further, and France becomes a place with jaguars, coconuts, volcanoes, penguins, grass skirts, war dances, bamboo flutes, witch doctors, and a multifaceted history that has evolved into a people group into becoming one of the most notable nations on the planet. Alors, allons-y.
Okay, let's do it.
The first thing you need to know about France is that it's not just European, but a transcontinental country that spans across 12 time zones, more than any other country in the world. Mais comment est-ce que possible? Laissez-moi expliquer, gros garçon. France is kind of divided into two main parts. The European metropolitan France, where about 95% of the population lives, and the overseas French regions, departments, and territories, otherwise known as the Département et Territoire d'Outre-mer, or Dom-Tom. Before we tell you what they are, let's explain the difference between them. Regions have exactly the same legal status as mainland France and the same civil, penal code, and administrative social tax laws.
French is also spoken in Belgium, Luxembourg. I think Luxembourg. It's also spoken in Switzerland and spoken in African countries. And France shares the longest border with Brazil. Alright then. Alright then.
And Mayotte off the coast of East Africa. The overseas collectivities are French Polynesia, probably heard of Tahiti, that's French Polynesia, as well as Wallis and Futuna in the Pacific, Saint Pierre and Miquelon right off the coast of Canada, Saint Barthélemy and Saint Martin,
and Quebec.
Which is the only place in France that has a border with the Netherlands, as the Dutch own the southern part of the island, located all in the Caribbean. The only islands that lie under the title of overseas territories are the French Southern and Antarctic Islands, or the TAAF. These islands are made up of the Kerguelen Islands, the St. Paul and Amsterdam Islands, you can probably guess who used to own those, the Crozet Islands, and Medallion, the acclaimed slice of Antarctica that is technically not recognized thanks to the Antarctic Treaty. And as of 2007, the scattered islands in the Indian Ocean, remember the Comoros episode, were added to make the 5th district of the territory, even though half of them are disputed with Comoros, Seychelles, and Mauritius. These islands are mostly uninhabited and only house temporary military or scientific personnel. Finally, France administers 2 special territories that don't quite fall into any of the previously mentioned categories. There's the uninhabited Clipperton Island off the coast of Mexico, which has a crazy murder story behind it. And last but not least, there's New Caledonia, which has a special particular status out of the French-administered overseas territory. New Caledonia is the only one that's vying for a kind of somewhat independence, as the political power was passed to the native Kanak peoples. There is a weird dual French, EU, and New Caledonian citizenship thing going on, and in 2018 they will hold a referendum to either remain or leave France. And thanks to all these territories, they together give France the second largest executive economic zone in the world after the US. Whew.
Okay.
Now let's go back to metropolitan Europe, France. The country is located in Western Europe,
then.
bordered by
This will be
other
the fun mail.
Don't forget little Andorra and Monaco, along the coast by the English Channel and the Bay of Biscay in the north and west, as well as the Mediterranean Sea to the south. Mainland France is sometimes referred to as the hexagon, since if you tilt your head a little bit, it kind of looks like it has 6 sides. Quite frankly, I was always under the impression that it kind of looked like a teapot with feet. Mainland France is also divided into 13 regions, including Corsica Island, 18 altogether if you include the overseas regions, with the capital, largest city, as well as the main cultural and commercial center, Paris.
My family member, Le Pichot, who was a French painter that was born in the 50s, which is the 16th century. I don't want to talk about it yet, but let's just... Then. Because La is French for male, and La is for female. Alright.
As well as Nice, Côte d'Azur, and the second and third largest cities, Lyon, Saint-Exupéry, and Marseille, Provence International. At around 643,000 square kilometers, France is the largest country in the EU. The interesting thing about France
second largest would have been Spain, and then Germany.
Cultural identity. Some of the most notable ones being Occitania, Savoy, Brittany, Normandy, Alsace, a section of the Basque Country, Nice, and the island of Corsica, which speaks its own dialect most French people can't even understand. These regions contribute their own unique piece of the French pie. Speaking of pie, we all know about French food, which is great.
Excuse me then? Alright then. Let's learn physical geography.
Looking at France's physical makeup, you start to kind of understand why food plays such a huge role in their culture. Everything just kind of works out perfectly for them. For metropolitan France, big, rich, nourishing rivers and their tributaries like the Garonne, Dordogne, Loire, Seine, Meuse, and Rhône entangle the entire country north to south, east to west, allowing an abundance of irrigated crop fields to exist in
I don't want to talk about what just happened.
On top of that, the fact that the country does not have any major fault lines. They enjoy a nice oceanic European climate, and they don't suffer regularly from any major natural catastrophes. Most of the country is made up of arable flat plains or small rolling green hills that are just begging for cultivation, and voila, you have an agricultural gold mine. In fact, out of every country in the EU, France reportedly has the highest quality of soil performance and resilience, and only a few spots like in the Caucasus region and parts of Eastern Europe and southern Russia rank higher. So there you go. Food haven. In the south, you reach the mountainous regions of France, including the Pyrenees along the border with Spain, the Massif Central Plateaus, one of the most geologically studied places in Europe due to this strange formation, the Alps all along the borders with Italy and Switzerland. By the way, Switzerland was all like, yeah, I'm not going to share Lake Léman. It's mine. That's how Geneva was born. The highest point in France, let alone all of the EU, is Mont Blanc, found in the French Alps along the border with Italy, only second in height to the Caucasus Mountains in all of Europe. If you consider the Caucasus region a part of Europe, some people don't, but that's another story. France is a cornucopia of produce, dairy, and meat. Every region has their own specialty, but two things are everywhere: cheese and wine. The French are the largest consumers of cheese with over 1,200 different varieties found all over the country. The French also have a larger range of unconventionally consumed meat products. Most countries stick with beef, chicken, pork, maybe lamb or goat, and fish. However, the French aren't satisfied with just that. Other animals like pheasant, duck, goose, quail, rabbit, venison, veal, horse, frogs, and snails are consumed regularly. Speaking of which, the national animal is the Gallic rooster, which is why you might typically see a lot of roosters on French-affiliated symbols. In fact,
even on World Cup uses
that's insect-eating countries in Europe, as about 700 million snails are estimated to be consumed every year by the French, especially in Burgundy, the largest snail-producing region in France. Unfortunately, due to the fact that the French are the highest consumers of raw or mildly cooked red meats, a huge portion of the population is either exposed or chronically infected by the
well, I heard that France was the most visited country.
This little guy eventually finds its way into your brain, changes people's behaviors into being either more caring or aggressive and suspicious. Look it up, I'm not even joking. The Alps are famous for their charcuterie and fondue, Brittany for its crepes, Cantal for its chestnuts, Dijon for its mustard, Aveyron for Aligot, Reims for its champagne, and then we get to Bordeaux. Now, first of all, every region of France likes to claim that they have the best wine. However, it's widely known that Bordeaux is disputably the home of the largest wine vineyards in the world, pumping out over 500 million liters of wine a year. The French take their produce maintenance very seriously and became the first country in the world to ban supermarkets from throwing away or destroying unsold food since February of 2016. All businesses must donate wastage to either charities or food banks. To combat crop wastage on farms, France has even opened up ugly fruit or vegetable shops in which you can buy disfigured produce for 30% off. Other than foodstuffs, though, main exports are aircraft, chemicals, machinery, iron, and steel.
France also created their cars, like,
territories and regions also have climates and topographies that are completely different.
Like, excuse me, I was going to say, like, Citroën, Peugeot, and Renault, and Bugatti, Bugatti, not Bulgaria, but Bugatti. So, alright.
Deep jungle ravines and a common volcanic activity going on. The scattered islands are mostly uninhabited sandbanks and lagoons with nothing more than just a few trees and shrubs. The southern Antarctic islands are rocky and desolate with few grasses and vegetation. Kerguelen has these cabbage-looking things going on, and these islands typically freeze over in the winter with penguins stampeding off the coasts. New Caledonia and French Polynesia are tropical Pacific islands that enjoy an abundance of rich, unspoiled, thick jungle, brush, and colorful flowers. And of course, Medeli Land is like all ice and Antarctica. Alright, we've discussed borders, boundaries, mountains, food, volcanoes. Now let's talk about who's running the entire show.
Okay, let's learn demographics.
France is a country of people that are very, very intent on making sure that they are French. First of all, the country has about 67 million people and is the second largest in Europe after Germany, making 13% of the EU alone. About 85% of the population is white, 10% are North African, mostly from the Maghreb regions, a little over 3% are black, and a little less than 2% are Asian. The currency is the euro, the euro type CEF outlets, and the German type the which makes things interesting interesting when their neighbors from the UK come across the channel. Now let's talk about the white people.
Alright.
Most white French people have some or partial Celtic or Gaulish origins, as historically the Gauls inhabited most of the centralized regions of modern-day France. That means genetically, the French and British have a lot more in common than they think. Of course, an admixture of Latin and Germanic roots also applies, as all three people groups have their stake of claim in France as well.
Well,
France even came from the Germanic Frank tribe. French is, of course, the official language. However, regional dialects do exist, but for the most part, they do pretty well at making sure everyone speaks it.
Excuse me. France is also spoken French. I mean, not France. French is also spoken in Canada. So.
In these languages. For example, Breton, a Celtic-based language related to Welsh and Irish, found in Brittany. Basque in the Basque Country. Occitan in Occitania. Corsicans have like this strange half French, half Italian hybrid thing going on. Keep in mind, though, most of the languages spoken in the linguistic zones are kind of dying out, and only the older generation really retains daily conversation in those languages. Outside of metropolitan France, the overseas departments and territories each speak French, but in addition typically have their own creoles or dialects. For example, in the Caribbean, Martinique and Guadeloupe might say "Ça a marché, tout bon man, timalman." In Reunion or Mayotte, they might say "Parfait, comment il est." France is the most visited country in the world. As more people than the entire population of France visit France annually at about 80 million. Culture-wise, there is too much to discuss. I mean, we are talking millennia of tribes, wars, empires, heroes, villains, artists, poets, architects, kings, queens, guillotines, revolutions, inventions, music, discoveries, victories, losses, folklore, science, literature, medicine, a whole separate YouTube channel. But for what it's worth, since the Middle Ages, France has been able to show time after time again that it has been a global force to be reckoned with. I mean, the French at one point in time were the second largest empire in the world, spanning across virtually every region on every continent. One thing you have to understand is that in a fast-growing Anglophone-driven global economy, France is very, very
Excuse me for that.
The French language and culture. The governmentally sanctioned Académie Française.
Okay, excuse me for that. Showing that.
1634. They do things like, somewhat unsuccessfully, banning foreign words such as blog, hashtag, parking, email, and weekend. In addition, the French media's top regulators, the CSA and CNC, have strictly enforced policies that require all music on private radio to be at least of 40% French origin and 70% in the French language between the hours of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and half of the music quota must be less than 6 months old. Everything must be French. France is, of course, home to a plethora of notable figures in every field of academia and athleticism. I mean, they have almost 70 Nobel Peace Prize winners, including famous chemists Pierre and Marie Curie. Few people know that they have a daughter who also became a notable scientist. Other scientists,
Marie Curie was Polish, but married to a French guy, so.
Flaubert, Pasteur, Châtelet, Mouton, who, by the way, invented the metric system. Musicians like Rameau, Lully, Debussy, Jacques Brel, Edith Piaf. Of course, we can't forget the fashion icons Louis Vuitton, Coco Chanel.
Well, Pico is also a French painter here.
Artists like Monet, Cézanne, Renoir, Degas, Manet, and Gauguin. And of course, what's an episode about France without mentioning anything about Kings Louis XIV and XVI, Joan of Arc, and Napoleon? In a simple way of putting it, French culture is very vibrant and proud. The French love where they've come from and how they go about doing things. The Catholic Church once played a major role, and to this day, even as a secular state with dwindling
okay, I'm sorry, I had to censor that.
In the very least, identify nominally as Catholic.
Then I will rework again if there is an issue.
They also love taking breaks and getting their sleep. On average, the French get about 8.83 hours of sleep every day, more than any other country in the developed world. And they also have some of the shortest work weeks, with only about 6 to 7 hours on average a day. And that's enough for them. It's not uncommon to see people taking time off in the middle of the day, early evening, just to relax and take a nap. They even have a word for it, l'heure de l'apéro, which literally translates to the hour of the aperitif. People can also claim state pension at age 62, making it one of the lowest retirement ages in the world. And of course, the sport French people rank highest in the world, going on strike. I mean, the last thing you want to do is interrupt the
yeah, let's not talk about that. Germany also faced that.
Yep, the world can be a cruel, cruel place. Let's see how France survives in the jungle.
Okay, let's learn about friend zone quickly,
When it
so.
comes to France, they don't discriminate. They hate everyone equally. No, but seriously, France has their eyes on a few people, and when they see what they like, they cling on and make you a treasure. First of all, Francophone nations and Latin-based former Roman legacy nations generally get the high seats, especially their neighbors like Switzerland, Luxembourg, Italy, and Spain. Quebec, Canada is to France kind of like what the USA is to the UK. They adore each other, they love each other's accents, but they love making fun of each other even more, even though they are really close. Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia are the closest African nations, as they make up the largest African immigrant demographics, followed by sub-Saharan African countries countries like Cameroon and Côte d'Ivoire, or Ivory Coast. For
Ivory
France, Japan
Coast.
is seen as like
Japan.
the epitome of exoticism. Similar to themselves, the Japanese have a rich culture of noble tradition, things like castles, attire, and food. Likewise, Japan sort of shares the same mutual fascination and see France as like its European alternate universe twin. There's no two countries that like to poke fun of and borderline harass each other with the French as the UK and the USA. As historical rivals with the UK, I mean, they did have a 100-year war with them, and the USA busting their chops about World War II. Friends like to satirize each other in cartoons and media all the time. Nonetheless, they are actually really close. The UK and France have been crossing borders and intermarrying for centuries. Commerce and student exchanges are high, and the US was helped by the French during the Revolutionary War, and they even gave the Statue of Liberty as a present. So, fellow Americans, thank France for Lady Liberty, okay? It was a kind gesture. France's best friends, though, would probably be Germany and Belgium. It's kind of funny because historically, the only country that was consistently an opponent of France was Germany. Ever since the split of Charlemagne's empire in 3, most of Europe's history was driven by the overarching rivalry between variations of France and all variations of Germany.
Latin and Germanic country.
Empire, the Teutonic Order, Prussia, and of course the Third Reich. But the plot
Excuse me,
the
that.
creation of the EU, following Robert Schumann's speech that states explicitly that for Europe to even hope to work, the millennia-old rivalry between France and Germany has to be resolved for good. Ever since 1915, France and Germany have taken a lot of political inspiration off of each other. Heads of states have visited each other on numerous occasions, and both countries have been the biggest advocates for the survival of the Union. And Belgium is like their little brother that moved out and got a Dutch-speaking roommate and visits France every so often to raid their fridge and do their laundry. In conclusion, les Français sont connus pour être intrépides, turbulents, mais qui gardent quand même un certain charme. Ils ont parfois l'air décevants, mais bon, essaye de vivre dans un pays envahi 24 heures sur 24, 7 jours sur 7,
I don't know what to
de
say.
terroristes qui piétinent vos jardins, massacrent vos
Well, I do understand French language. Like, I know the word for hello, but...
Stay tuned. France's rich former little colony, Gabon, is coming up next.
Goodbye.